Here we are.
Hello, hello.
How you
Happy
doing?
Thursday.
Yeah. You feeling better? I know you were not feeling well for a bit.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know what I had. Probably like a flu or like a worse cold or something, but it left like this residual cough, so I was just coughing up a lung every day for the last
That'll
two
happen.
weeks. But finally we're doing better, so nice to be
Right
back.
on. Good to have you here. Yeah, still in some market turmoil and everything. We can get into that a little bit, but yeah, how you feeling about the markets in general?
Well, I see the work like constantly dropping back down after every move for the last 2 weeks. I'm not entirely
That's
sure what is exactly going on. Some people have pointed out that usually when there's like a big discrepancy between what equities are doing and what uh, crypto majors are doing, it means like generally someone big might have gotten liquidated or might have blown up, and they're trying to um, kind of reorder their books. So I
yeah.
don't know if that's something that is going on at all. I don't know if there's just other factors at play, you know.
I mean, I have some theories myself. Yeah, I think something that has something to do with it for sure. Chris Berninski, kind of pretty famous investor in the crypto space here, venture investor. He was talking a little bit about what you were talking about, also just saying that like yeah, that kind of Black Swan Friday that happened there, where there was just incredible liquidations that yeah it might have knocked like yeah maybe like a big market maker or something out, and they just haven't really revealed it yet, uh, and getting open interest and liquidity back into the space just takes a little bit of time now. um, Definitely could have something to do with it. I also think that this big gold run that we've been talking about on
Mm.
past live streams has something to do with it also, has been kind of sucking a lot of the liquidity, specifically out of Bitcoin, which, and if Bitcoin isn't doing well, um, that typically makes the rest of the crypto market kind of um, sputter a little bit. Yeah, like gold has been on this gigantic run, like a run that it hasn't really seen since like the 1970s. But there are signs that that is starting to top now. This is one of the charts that got shared, I think, last week, and it's uh, it's pretty revealing. The last time in 2020 when gold topped, that's when Bitcoin really started its run. We talked a little bit about this on the last live stream too. Bitcoin typically in general lags gold by about 60 to 90 days, and we're getting near that 90-day mark. And gold is showing signs that maybe it's topped and starting to go sideways. So yeah, that could be something to pay attention to and see if this plays out the same way.
Yeah, it's it's kind of hard to say these things. I mean, it would be nice for it to play out like that, and we just get like a massive run.
Yeah,
Um, I keep seeing price predictions from people about, what Bitcoin will end up at the end of the year. So like Michael Saylor was talking about, oh, $150,000 Bitcoin is probably gonna happen, or that's what he believes. Which I don't think is actually that insane,
hmm
but it's just the state where, you have to go through some sideways action before any meaningful pumps can happen again. Because if you just look at this Bitcoin chart of the last few months, we topped out at like around 125K twice
yep,
already, like 120K three times, and it retraces and then it pumps back up and retraces, pumps back. So it just seems like, we need some time of sideways for a little bit, and then we can continue. Um,
yeah. And I would argue that this has been made like a lot of this kind of sideways, like you're describing, like just like pumping up a bit, coming back down, pumping up a bit, coming back down. Mainly, like I think this is still due to the lack of business cycle that we've had, um, which, in my opinion, we just haven't had a proper business cycle this bull run, and that's why we haven't really seen like the big moves in most of crypto that you in general see. Uh, I'll share this again. I mean, I share this guy's charts quite a bit, but in general, he's been pretty good. And this has been like the ISM, like we've talked about many times, has been like a pretty good indicator of the business cycle. And
Mhm.
as you can see, it's been completely down since 2022. It's been well since the peak of the bull market. Basically, it's gone down and it stayed down, and this is the longest it's stayed down for over like 30 some years. Tom Lee was saying so. Yeah, it's just been a lack of a business cycle. And then when you do Bitcoin implied pricing based on the ISM, it makes complete sense that it can't really move up until confidence and um, business cycle actually starts to return. So this is my main indicator that I've been following. And yeah, like everything, if you believe in this indicator and how it plays out, this says that the market's probably going to be extended and the bull run's probably going to be extended and probably won't see the bull run everyone was expecting until 2026. But yeah, let's see.
I'm really curious if this business cycle confidence chart is like heavily affected by tariffs. Because if you're just looking at the chart right now, it seems like since 2022 we're kind of just been ranging, stalled out. But
Mhm.
I'm curious if like why that would be the case versus, just
Yeah,
in
I
the
mean,
recent history.
I was listening to a podcast where Tom Lee was talking about it, and I think a big piece of it was exactly that. Is in like the business cycle was starting to heat up, as you can uh, a little bit see, and then it kind of like sputtered out. And I think that yeah, I think a lot of that had to do with the tariffs um, that yeah, Trump imposed. So it kind of just like killed any momentum that this had and created a bunch of uncertainty. And markets hate uncertainty. So yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it.
Interesting. Yeah. So many ways that we try to track this Bitcoin thing, but at the end of the day, you know,
Yeah,
we get a few of these XRP whales buying at the same time, we just goes to the moon. So
exactly. Like charts, somebody said it once. Charts are just like astrology for men. So
yeah,
like so, yeah. Who knows? You can never fully trust in anything. You just gotta see how it all plays out, and um, I don't know. Everything's just probabilities. I still think the
for
highest
sure.
probability is that this gets extended and the real bull run comes 2026. But let's see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I yeah, I think there's a lot of room for much higher price points, at least for majors. So
Yeah,
I'm uh,
agreed.
I'm definitely optimistic. But
There's still a
besides
lot of
that,
catalysts. Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I just want to say, like, yeah, there's still a lot of catalysts to come here. Like, I tweeted this out about a week ago, a bit ago. Like the Fed is having a major crypto conference for the first time. That's coming mid-November, I believe. The crypto market structure bill right now, like Brian Armstrong and the Coinbase team are in DC trying to get that across the line. They're saying that they're pretty confident that they can get that bill across before the end of the year. So those are gonna like those two alone are just major catalysts. And then like more rate cuts. End of QT is coming. They just announced that yesterday. That's coming at the end of December and more rate cuts. We got another one yesterday, and probably still another one in December. China deal is supposed to be signed next week, and then midterms are coming next year, and that always means that they're going to be printing money to bribe people to vote for them. So yeah, I think there's still like a ton of catalysts. There just needs to be yeah, we just need to get a proper business cycle to get things going.
Yeah, this is a great tweet, by the way. Always good to like point out exactly what the catalysts are, because sometimes people like just freak out. They're
Yeah,
just, oh, price action is everything. Ah, sell it all.
yeah, yeah. People get caught in short-term biases. Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend anybody before they make their 25x leverage trade, just take a look at this tweet and look at these little bullet points, and then see if you still want to go through with it.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
but besides that, it's been a pretty nice week for crypto. Um,
What are you referring to?
there's so Monad just did their airdrop
Oh, I didn't even see that. Did they finally
program.
do that? Wow.
They finally did
Okay.
that. They've done it in phases with like a box program, so people would unlock boxes and they'd see their Monad allocation. And then apparently
Okay.
Mega ETH just finished their round as well.
What was the
Um,
final result? Did you see? Yeah,
I haven't seen it
how
yet.
much
Mega
let me look
ETH
that up. Yeah.
had over 50K bidders for the public sale though, and they had about 1.4 billion committed. So it
Wow.
was oversubscribed by almost 28x, which is quite good.
That is
Um,
wild.
and that was just today, actually, this morning. So yeah, these were like the two biggest, I don't know, projects in general that I was kind of looking out for
Mhm.
to finally launch and to um, launch a token as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
nice
shows
to see it.
there's still like a lot of capital on the sidelines. Like if they're oversubscribed that much and $1.4 billion committed to just one project, there's definitely capital on the sidelines willing to and wanting to come in. They're just looking for the right moments to do it.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely appetite for good projects, I think. In general, I think Monad is interesting. I like the startup I was working at before is deploying on Monad, is going to be one of their day one partners. So there is a lot of interesting stuff on Monad. It's weird because it's an alt L1, so there's not really connected to the Ethereum ecosystem as much, but they've managed to get a lot of builders on their chain. They've managed to get a lot of support and a lot of attention and activity. So um,
Yeah,
everybody knows about the Gamonad spam and like all
yeah.
these quests
They
and roles and stuff on their Discord. So they've managed
they
to like set up a good system for just getting people involved.
yeah.
And
I mean, they really dragged out that airdrop a long time, and
yeah,
they did a good job of like keeping the community activated and engaged while they waited. So yeah, props.
I've seen some general like positive responses about how their airdrop like program went and how much money people actually did make. Like it was meaningful for a lot of people.
Yeah,
So that's good to see. In my mind, it seems very similar to like an Arbitrum airdrop from back in the
yeah,
day, which is nice. But I hope their tokenomics are not terrible, and they managed to learn from some of the mistakes that maybe Arbitrum had. So
yeah, exactly. No, I think overall, like when bigger projects like this can do meaningful airdrops, it does actually attract a lot of newbies to the space because they see other people who made money, and it's overall positive. I think same thing happened with Uniswap when they did their big airdrop. Like that got a lot of PR, positive PR for crypto because there was like a lot of people in like Africa and different places that made like meaningful money for them from that airdrop. So yeah, it's cool to see, and I think there's going to be another big airdrop on the horizon here also with MetaMask. I've seen that they registered some domain address under
that's
their
right.
for their potentially for claiming their airdrop. So that's potentially coming in like November here also, which could be another like Uniswap style airdrop as a lot of people use MetaMask.
Yeah, I'm really curious what that's gonna look like because they have to have one of the highest like user bases out of any app, if not the highest in all of crypto. Um, but yeah, I was reading a little bit about it. They're prepping their token launch, but they're also doing a rewards program. So I'm assuming that people who use Infura or other like side products as part of the like MetaMask all-inclusive, ecosystem will benefit somewhat and might get a bigger allocation, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that works. I have high hopes. This would be one of the most well distributed um, airdrops or token supplies out of any project in crypto, probably. Oh, think we might have lost you. Hello?
Sorry, I was muted there. Yeah, I was just saying, like, yeah, I think this could be potentially one of the biggest airdrops in crypto ever. Yeah. Um, on a related but somewhat different note, I thought this tweet was very interesting. Also, want to kind of get your thoughts on this. Um, Another macro guy that I follow, Alex, he's showing the returns that you could get from 100K invested. You can scale this up or down by an order of magnitude to make it more realistic, but like 100K invested since January 1980 um, would have the following values today. Like as you can see, like money produces you nothing. Like holding fiat is definitely the worst. Surprisingly, gold had a very little return over that period. I think that was because it had such a parabolic run in the 70s, and then it kind of topped out, major top in the 80s, as he alluded to. Um, but like the reason I wanted to kind of bring this up is that you get a lot of people kind of talking on crypto Twitter, and especially in like the institutional spaces and stuff like that. They're like, why would I hold like Bitcoin or crypto or something like that when I could invest in real estate? And you always hear people in crypto talking about like, oh, I should have just invested in real estate or uh, different things like that, or the S&P or something like that. This goes to show that like real estate actually had surprisingly very low returns. Um, and the best by far was stock picking. If you picked winners in the stock market, which is no surprise, crypto's not on this obviously because crypto has not been around since the 1980s. But I would like to see how this maps out in the future. But crypto should follow similar lines to like equities, like stocks and stock picking. So yeah, just wanted to kind of show this to you.
Yeah, this is really interesting. It's great context as well. I mean, to some extent, it makes sense. Like, even just investing in the S&P passively is a 10.6 million return. So what is that like? That's like a thousand
Basically,
X or
hundred
like a
x.
hundred X, sorry.
Yeah,
So that's yeah, and I think ultimately like that's just what's gonna happen with like the way the money works, right?
yeah.
Um,
Can
the
also
rich get
already see
richer.
crypto going in that. Yeah, can already see crypto going in that direction too. Like everything, like trying to be indexed and stuff like that. I guess
Right,
the key message is that like don't hold fiat. Like it's just,
right.
and it's only getting worse. Like 80% of the fiat currency or the U.S. dollar has been printed in the past, like I don't know, what 20 years or something like that, or 10 years. I can't remember. But like it's only going to get worse. And like if you have the ability, like try to invest as much as you can. Whether it's in the stock market, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in crypto, whatever it is, just get out of fiat because I think fiat's going to do worse and worse in the coming decades.
For sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have a little bit of cash on hand, but
For
if
sure.
you're one of those people who, or to just be able to have assets that you can borrow against regardless, right?
Yeah.
So you have some level of capital unlock, because otherwise you're just, you're just so illiquid. It can be risky. But
I mean, shout out Superseed here and what's coming.
shout out.
I mean, I think this is what like DeFi and like projects like us, like Superseed, are going to be able to deliver for the average person in the future, where you're going to be able to have like whatever assets you want to. If you want to invest in stocks, you want to invest in gold, you want to invest in crypto tokens, whatever you want to invest in, you'll be able to like borrow against those assets, get the cash that you need to pay your expenses or to just live and buy things. And not have to like sell your assets. And in the future, with self-repaying loans, it gets even better. So yeah, I think that yeah, DeFi in general will just be a major unlock for the average consumer. And if people use it properly, it can really spread a lot of wealth for people.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we gotta like hardcore supersede pill Alex Kruger, man. This
Yeah,
guy, does he know about self-repaying loans yet?
not
Does he
yet.
know?
I mean, speaking of Superseed and self repaying loans, yeah, like we've got like a lot of marketing we need to do in the future once we get these core products out. Great tweet that we just put out yesterday here about what's coming, and like just paying attention to that North Star of Superseed. Like our North Star, like the vision is that like we're built on like creating these revenue streams, and turning those into self-repaying loans, and like distributing basically those revenues back to the users of the ecosystem. So we've got big news coming on that. We've got a big blog coming out. I know that we've talked about this for a couple live streams now. It did get a little bit delayed, but everything should be good to go here over the next coming days. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And that's going to kind of outline our roadmap and product releases coming up here, leading up to the Super CDP. So I'm incredibly excited for what's coming.
Yeah, and I don't want to spoil too much, but I think we can kind of talk about like in principle what some of our like ideas are. Um,
Mhm.
and it has to do with like revenues, right? That's at the core. This whole tweet is about like, the vision of Superseed is built on revenues and built on inflows and whatever way we can find to get revenues, to get inflows into our system, the more value can be given back to users. So we've been thinking a
Exactly.
lot about like, different ways that that can happen. It doesn't necessarily, if you read our docs, if you understand our product, we have some revenue sources from proof of repayment vaults, from CDP fees, from sequencer fees, but there's no reason why we should be limited only to those things. And I think as like our product and our vision matures, we like finding those other revenue sources will be a really important part of that mature
Exactly.
product. So
Expanding upon that, I think that's a very good way to put it. Yeah, just expanding upon those revenue sources, and yeah, why not create even like bigger revenue streams that we can uh, take into the ecosystem and then revert back to users. So yeah, exciting news coming on that. Major core product release coming up this quarter, also targeted for this quarter. So yeah, keep an eye out. The blog's going to detail it all.
absolutely, man. Big things coming. Sad to
Um,
say, but big things coming. I hate to use the trope, but
yeah, it's always coming. Um, Another thing that I know has like covered up my timeline. Um, oh, where am I? I'm sure it's covered up your timeline a little bit, and anyone else that's been using Twitter. Um, to completely kind of switch the topic here is the new Neo home robot that came
oh,
live.
true.
Oh
Did you
man,
order one
what
already? Is it on the way?
I haven't ordered it yet. I'm very. I mean, I'm probably going to put down a deposit, but like, I don't know. I'm in
Really?
Argentina. I'm in Argentina, so like, I don't know how long it could be, like 2027 before they start shipping down here. So,
Damn.
I think the US is going to be getting theirs first. So I might just wait. Maybe there's like a V2 by the time they start shipping here. So.
Let the first round of participants like bug test for you.
Yeah, exactly. But I think this is just super cool. As I mean, I'm a big technology fan, AI fan, robots. I love all this stuff. The obvious, like, disturbing part will be the privacy issues, but
Yeah.
I don't know. There's got to be. I don't know. You just blindfold them and cover up the cameras.
You just blindfold them and they just start pushing the robot around, just start kicking it from time to time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Absolutely.
know how that's gonna get resolved, but yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Like, are you gonna own a robot one day, or are you gonna stay away from it because of privacy concerns? What are your
Mm.
thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, in principle, I really like the idea of having a home robot who can do stuff for you, right? Like, I'm sure that will be the end goal for how people interact with robots. They just have a personal service assistant, but yeah, this problem with privacy is always going to exist unless you have like an open source, um, you know, some sort of robot where it's very clear what the privacy intrusions are or can be. and there's like some level of insurance or safety against, a big level of privacy intrusion, then it's always going to be a niche market, I feel like, right? You can't really attract many people if the robot can just turn on and be remote controlled by somebody in like Bangladesh, and then
Yeah, exactly.
who knows what's going to happen after that. And it just opens you up to privacy risks from like hackers as well, right? Like the
Yeah.
just the ability to be remote controlled um makes it like an issue for everybody. So yeah, I don't know. Until that problem is really fixed, I find it hard to see it very, very adopted, But I'm sure at
Well,
some point
I
if
mean,
yeah.
yeah, I completely agree, but I still think it's going to be heavily adopted because most people don't care about their privacy. Like as evidenced by like every single person in the world
Yeah.
almost having like uh, one of those Alexas in their house or whatever.
Yeah.
Like those things are already listening 24/7. Even your phone, if you have an Instagram
Right.
app on your phone is listening to you 24/7 and collecting data. So I don't know. I think that most people just don't care about privacy, which is sad. I think that eventually these robots, these humanoid robots, are gonna have to go the same kind of ethos as crypto and like open source their code. I think that's the only way that you can fully trust that, like, okay, if you can see in the code that this thing can only be manually operated if like some like how they have it right now is basically like the lights on the ears. Like I was reading up a bit on this. The lights on the ears will turn like blue or red or something like
Hmm.
that to let you know that this is turning into manual like teleoperator mode. But like, how can you guarantee that? That's the only problem. So
Right.
that's where the open source I think comes in, where you need to see the open source code that like, hey, this is always going to happen once like if it's being manually operated or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, this is an interesting point. Like most people just do not care about their privacy at all. Practically, right? Some people ideologically are kind of bothered by it, but they still use all these products that are just surveillance
Yeah.
tech. But I think
Yeah.
the only difference is with these robots, they have physical contact with you, right? So
Mhm.
it's kind of easy to not be bothered by your phone or by your like Alexa or by your, Samsung fridge that's like listening to you and maybe like selling ads to companies to get you to buy their stuff. But
It's a
then
great
when you
point.
introduce like the risk of, this
Physical
robot
harm.
can like do
Yeah.
something to you in real time.
Yeah.
It can just malfunction and do something to you. That becomes
Yeah.
a little bit scarier, right? That's like a big thing with like self-driving cars as well, where the risk is very similar. So it's a lot less
Yeah.
adopted than it might have been, right? Because the tech
It,
already exists, but it's not as adopted mainstream yet. So we'll see.
yeah, it's a great point. Like as soon as you introduce physical harm, yeah, people are much more cautious. It's a very good point. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see like yeah what the order numbers are on these things. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
true. Like most people don't want to get a self-driving car really until they know like 100% like hey these things are safer than the human driving. And it is getting to that point, but like you still like
yeah,
how do you demonstrate it? And it kind
yeah,
of destroys the whole point if you still have a bunch of human drivers on the road. Like you almost like the switch needs to happen like all at once or nothing.
right.
Um, because if it's still like half self-driving, half humans, like you can't control what's going to happen with the human drivers, even if the self-drivers are more safe.
I'm watching this video and it's like I have to think like, okay, even if the robot's working, or like things are going well, like it might just not know how to do things well, right? Like it was putting dishes in the dishwasher, it might just like drop the dishes, like fall over, hit like lose your clothes or something, like rip something in your house just by accident if it doesn't understand or it hasn't adapted yet. So in general,
Yeah.
like if you have to compare this to a maid, for example, right? You just get a maid, you know, there is some level of competence that is guaranteed and probably some level of like price, like cheapness, because
Mhm.
paying a maid versus getting a, I don't even know how much this costs. This robot
No, I
costs.
mean,
What's
this is actually
Superseed?
pretty reasonable. It's $500 a month that you can rent it for.
Okay, okay.
So,
Not
so
terrible.
like especially in the US, like if you compare that to getting a maid, it's like per hour. This is like way, way,
Mm-hmm.
way cheaper. But yeah, just to give you a little bit more context, like because I've done way too much looking into this because I actually really want to get one. Um, so basically, what happens is like, for example, like yeah, maybe the first time that he does your dishes, he's not going to be that great. So basically, what you do is like you schedule a time um, for a teleoperator. Like you can say like, okay, tomorrow morning I want you to do my dishes for the first time, and the teleoperator is going to take over at 9 a.m. because that's what you scheduled, and they're gonna go through and like do your dishes like full cycle the first time for you, and then once it learns that, it does it autonomously after that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty cool, but yeah, my only concern is the privacy around like, okay, can you ensure that it's not being teleoperated and it's not listening to when it's not saying when it says it's not and that sort of stuff.
Right, right, for sure. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that all plays out. Imagine
Yeah,
having like a data leak from like your robot or something.
yeah, or just like saying things that like it overheard and then repeats somehow. Um, yeah, yeah, like it could easily just like go on your computer and steal data if it wanted
Yeah.
to. Yeah,
The
there's a lot of
surveillance, sorry.
surveillance. No, go ahead.
Surveillance tech is like insane these days. I don't know if you've seen this at all, but I'm an avid Instagram user these days, and I'll be talking to people in real life about things and just watch or over text, just haven't said anything to, I haven't interacted with the app in any way at all, but I'm just talking to people or I'm texting them or over SMS or other things, and I'll just see my Instagram timeline on these reels completely change, like immediately to talk about the topics that I'm dealing with, right? It is
Yeah,
incredible the amount of like breach of privacy that this type of app has, and this is like
yeah,
explicit. Like you don't know to what extent other things are listening and are surveilling you and are just you have no way of knowing. Um,
yeah. I mean,
so
from what I understand, Facebook, which owns Instagram, WhatsApp, and all these different apps, they are the worst perpetrators of this. And there's people that have like dug into like the algorithms and stuff. And 100%, like your microphone is on and listening, even in the background when you're not using the Instagram app, and it's listening to what you're saying. It's collecting that, throwing it through its AI, in the service of like helping you get better ads placed in front of you, but like and then all of a sudden someone hacks Facebook and steals that data for much worse purposes. So yeah, it's got to have the same concerns with these robots. Like what if, like how easily are they going to, like what if they can hack and take over the teleoperator function? um, yeah, and
yeah.
then who knows? It's
But props to the first experimenters, the pioneers of the home robots.
Yeah, yeah. The more I think
Curious
about
to
it, the
see.
more I'm not going to be probably a first user, but yeah, maybe V2 once they have some of these murders worked out.
For sure, for sure. I'm really curious where this company is based in actually, because that would right, like your government has some level of um like access to the information from these companies, like regardless. I think in the US there's some laws that exist where any tech company can be forced to create like a backdoor for for the government to spy on like the people in the country. So I don't know, man. I know that was a problem that like the Telegram founder had, where I believe,
Yeah,
was it the Russian government or the French government?
yeah,
One of the governments was asking for access, back-end access about users' um, texts and like interactions, and he wasn't willing to give it up, and he had to flee the country basically.
Yeah,
because of that.
that was Telegram. Yeah, I was listening to a podcast where he spoke about that. Yeah, that was frightening. But yeah, it's a very good point actually. Yeah, this One X company is based in Palo Alto, California. So yeah, I think it's a very good point. Like maybe the right robot to order, if you are privacy focused, is one that is based out of a country that doesn't like enforce like backdoors into your data and privacy and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I fear nowhere is really safe from the surveillance apparatus in the world, you know, even if you're in a different country, like
I
they'll
mean,
just they'll just
yeah.
spy on you anyway.
I mean, the only place in the world that I have faith in this moment is Argentina. Um,
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I like this country is because the president hates the government as much as like libertarians in the United States do. He has a quote saying that his contempt for the state like has no bounds or something like that. I can't
Yeah.
remember, but like basically like he doesn't trust the government as much as like a lot of different libertarians don't trust the government, and he's trying to like get rid of like a majority of the government. um so I like, yeah, for the first time I have a little bit of faith that maybe something positive could come. And like I think he's like the first government to actually reduce government. I think he's like cut like 60 or 80% now of like government programs, like all this like excess stuff, and he's reducing and wants to get rid of like all taxes and yeah, like surveillance and all that sort of stuff. So
This
yeah,
is
I've faith.
the Malay guy. I forget his full
Yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah. He's a libertarian and
Hmm.
who somehow got into government.
Yeah, I
So
remember this.
it's an interesting experiment. I want to see how it plays out.
That is pretty interesting. I'm curious if there's been like big changes to the lifestyle for you personally, just under this guy, under this regime, right? Because not to dox you, but you're aware of how things work in Argentina.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like so like it's been like pretty run by socialism for a long time, until this yeah libertarian president got in, and it's been incredibly corrupt. Like that's like everybody knows that it's like the whole kind of economy and markets were like running through like black markets, and like if you want to do anything with money or crypto, everything was like through like backdoors and black markets. And like they famously had a blue dollar, or still have a blue dollar, which is like different to the white dollar. There's two different kind of dollar economies within the same country. It's yeah, it's been like a pretty wild place. But now with this new president, it's starting to mainstream a little bit. Like he's starting to open it back up, and like cutting a lot of this stuff that like the socialist government kind of destroyed, and trying to reduce the overall power of the government, so that it like can't really infringe upon like individual citizens. So that's what I'm most excited about, like just to see if some like major country can get to a place where the government actually has like less power. Because in every other country right now, it's just like every single, it doesn't matter if you vote for the right to the left, it doesn't really matter who you vote for. The government gets bigger, it gets more powerful, and then it like eventually they're just going to point that at whoever they want to, whether you agree with them now and maybe in 4 years you disagree with the government. Like it doesn't matter because you gave them more power and now they can do even more. So yeah, that's this is why I'm a big fan of like network states, and eventually like the centralized governments losing their power, and like states and countries becoming decentralized and actually owned and operated by the people who are the citizens of the country. That's what I'm most excited for. But anyways, this libertarian experiment is one to watch.
Absolutely. It's been very interesting. I did know he was very what's the word? Controversial, I guess. There's a lot of mixed reception about him, but you know, in general, I'm a fan of trying libertarian things a little bit, especially in a
Yeah,
country like Argentina or like South America's so filled with corruption. But
yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's interesting. And he launched a meme coin at some point. I remember that. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, nobody. Uh, yeah, everybody makes mistakes. Yeah,
yeah,
he messed up with that one for sure.
yeah.
Um, everybody got caught up in the meme coin, or
Meme coin
yeah,
mania.
basically,
It was kind of not even
yeah,
him, from what I understand. It was someone who just had access to socials and kind of
yeah. But like,
manipulated.
I mean, you never know the true story, but like basically what happened from my understanding is that like the same guys that launched like Kanye West coin and the
Hmm.
Melania, the Trump, I'm not sure about the Trump coin, but the Melania coin and a few other like notorious like celebrity coins, they like got close to the president's sister and like used her basically to launch this thing. So, and then he just like
Crazy.
kind of without even knowing, kind of endorsed it because he thought that it was something to do to make Argentina better, and he tweeted about it. And who knows?
Right,
Um,
right, right.
Got to do a little bit more diligence on these things if you're the president of a country.
Yeah. Yeah, as much as he can. It's hard as a president, to be fair, but
Yeah.
crazy world.
Anyways, crazy world, crazy world. Anyways, that's all I had for this week. Unless you had any other topics,
I think we covered a decent amount here, so
covered a good amount. So yeah, just to give some programming notice here. So next week we're not going to have a regularly scheduled super chat. We're going to be doing a live stream community call because hopefully we have this blog out and we can discuss that in a little bit more detail with the community. So yeah, we're very excited about what's going to be dropping here and product announcements and all that sort of stuff. So stay tuned. Next week should be a fun one.
absolutely, guys. And stay tuned for this blog announcement as well,
Yeah.
as well. Yep, yep, yep.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Chris. And thanks for everyone that showed up. We'll
Take care,
see you
guys.
next week.
Peace.